Hi and welcome to Healthy Life Hacks. I'm Jefferies, the present-day wise woman, a realistic naturopath coming to you from the surfing beaches of Australia. This podcast is for those of you who are wanting to really rock your life and health and live from a place of prevention. Let's get into today's episode. Have you ever been halfway through a block of chocolate or a packet of biscuits and thought, what the fuck? What am I doing? You've been emotionally eating and been absolutely mindless in doing it. You come to and you just, generally the most common emotion that people run is guilt. And then they go, oh, and they feel bad about themselves. And it just feeds that problem. So if you're wanting to be healthy, be it, better energy, better sleep, better moods, better weight, why not add reducing stress to the list? Why? Because for so many people, food has become a way of handling stress. And apart from that mental kind of angst that we have when we're stressed out, day in, day out, and it's interesting nowadays, it's not the big stresses, it's the chronic little ones that just bite at us day after day after day. It ends up with higher concentrations of the stress hormones like cortisol, and the poor habits of eating that come with that ends up giving us a higher visceral fat percentage. That's the belly fat. That's the heart attack fat. I see belly fat as being way worse than subcutaneous fat, just fat, because it literally strangles your organs. The other thing is it increases inflammation. It shortens our telomeres. Our telomeres determines how quick we're off this planet. And oxidative stress is the thing that taxes it the most. And it increases our overall chance of having more and more and more lifestyle imbalances. We've got to look at managing stress and balancing up our cortisol better, not just for weight management, but for overall health. There was a really cool study that was done, a few years ago, and it was published in the Journal of Obesity. And it showed that mindful eating with stress management helped to reduce cortisol levels in the body and the resulting belly fat. And really interesting, in the study, it was that reduction in cortisol that also showed that it helped to support our telomeres. And the telomeres are the ends of our chromosomes, which is, it truly does. It determines when we're off this planet. And that's a whole nother story for another podcast. But we want to get this we've got to get this into check, guys. In the study, it was run by the University of California in San Francisco. They got this group of women, who were just chronically stressed, overweight, and put them in two groups. Either one was the mindful eating group, or one was just a control group where they made no real changes. And they found that the women who received training in mindfulness and meditation absolutely had such dramatically different results. And it showed up in their abdominal fat. They were able to decrease visceral fat. So that's the thing. When we're stressed, our adrenals are activated, That fight and flight thing comes on, and we get a blast of hormones that gives our body the ability to stand and fight or to get out of here. That's it. And it's a good response. It's meant to be there, Our body needs that extra to be able to do that. And after that stressful event, that flood of hormones, we're meant to get time to recover. The thing is nowadays we don't, and it's not big events. It's just the kids going, mum, one too many times. It's the too much traffic. It's the too much work. It's just life nowadays. That stuff has stress as being chronic, just little hits day after day after day versus a big event and then time to recover. And what happens is we're needing this instant kind of fuel to be able to keep us going. And we crave carbohydrates and fats. That's why we eat chocolate and carbs when we're stressed out. So really interesting, in the study, they showed that mindful eating practices helped us to be able to deal with that. Yes, we need to use adaptogens, which I'll talk about in a sec, to help our body not swing so far when we're stressed out. But mindful eating practices such as paying attention to how you felt. And are you really hungry or are you thirsty? What are you craving? Are you craving sweet or are you craving salty? It's been shown that eating and waiting 20 minutes, the fullness feeling actually sits in. And also we need to be satisfied in like that. Our happy hormones need to be turned on for us to be emotionally satisfied. So if you eat, if someone's sitting there and eating bloody lettuce leaves and water and thinking, oh, I'm going to be healthy and lose weight, but you're stressed out about eating it and you are not taste satisfied, guess what? You're not going to do it. It's not going to do it. Your happy hormones won't get turned on. Okay. So, and go back to my podcast where I talk all about the happy hormones and all the different foods that turn the different ones on. Go and check that out. The bottom line is that during this trial, the women were asked to do a daily meditation for up to 30 minutes and apply mindful eating. So imagine just not inhaling the food, but actually have a mouthful, put the spoon down, have a mouthful, put the spoon down, and mindfully eat. I've talked about in the past about, not watching the news and stuff. We see people really in the energy of watching the news at dinner time. They're absolutely inhaling their food. But just taking that time to be mindful with the eating is one thing, but also meditating for up to 30 minutes a day. Now, if you haven't meditated before, don't be scared. I'm putting a link in the show notes to this episode of a really cool how to start meditating practice by my wife, Dr. Alice. And she makes it a no-brainer to learn how to meditate. I promise. It's really cool. And even 5 minutes a day will make a difference. So being mindful and having our body just more relaxed. So dealing with the rises and falls of cortisol during the day is really important. And it's interesting, cortisol is actually important for us. It's good. It's what actually gives us our energy to get out of bed. It's really cool. However, when it's elevated for too long, that's when we see the levels of our stress increase, and it's feeding each other. So shorter bouts of cortisol secretion are normal. And like I said, gives you the ability to stand and fight or get out of that's great. But it's this elevated, constant day in, day out. Cortisol levels are too high. Our sleep ends up being crappy. We're not dealing with life. And that has us in that loop where it's hard to lose weight. Or in some people, and being a skinny stress-headed is a very real thing. I've worked so much with people who are really trim looking and can have a higher visceral fat percentage than someone who's bigger than them, because it's that same stress fat that's got them. Okay. Now, I bang on all the time about adaptogens. Adaptogens are a class of herbs that help our body just deal with stress differently. We can't make stress go away. Stress is good, but too much for too long is what taxes us. All right. So I'll put a link in the show notes to the adaptogens that I really recommend. Okay. So they help our body manage cortisol on like a daily kind of basis. I have been the biggest advocate for adaptogens. I've been taking them for more than 3 decades. I know how our body deals with stress on them to not on them. And I do them. They're just part of my lifestyle management. I take adaptogens before I go to sleep at night. Okay. So this year, imagine you don't let stress take over your life. It's going to unleash havoc on your body if you do. It just will. It's going to keep you trapped. So look at the healthy life hacks are pretty simple. 1, try meditation, even 5 minutes a day. Go to the show notes and click the link and go do it now and check out Dr. Alice's quick meditation. All right. The show notes are at www.healthylifehacks.com.au. Go and click the link. I promise it's worth it. Get onto some adaptogens. Okay. Really important. Get your body just in that not so reactive mode. Get that cortisol in check. And then the other one is to think about mindful eating when you're eating. Okay. Eat, make the practice. Eat, put the spoon down. Eat, put the fork down. Whatever it is, just take your time and definitely stop watching, things like the news if you're eating your meal. Really important to do that. Okay. That stuff is taking us off this planet. Have fun playing with that. Like I said, the show notes are at www.healthylifehacks.com.au. Go and try meditation, even 5 minutes a day. It's worth it. I want to thank you for being here today. If you enjoyed my podcast, please let me know by leaving a review on Apple Podcast. Every month, I draw one lucky person who leaves a review on Apple Podcast to have a free 1-hour consultation with me. Be sure to subscribe to the show wherever you're tuning in from so that you always catch the next episode. And if you would like to receive a free copy of my Feed Your Body ebook, Simply click the link in the comments below. Join my newsletter and we will get that free ebook sent to you. I welcome your emails and you can write to me at podcast@healthylifehacks.com.au. Until next time, remember, when it comes to life, live it, love it, and get on with it.